Hello, I'm here to talk about Mars One's plan to send humans to the planet Mars by 2023. Mars One will establish a permanent human settlement on Mars, starting with a crew of 4 people, and then more people after that will leave if the project is successful. Mars One plans on sending people to the moon using the Inspiration Mars rocket ship. This rocket ship will carry all passengers and the equipment needed to establish a settlement on Mars. Upon reaching Mars, settlers will encounter their first difficulty. This will be the point where they will have to establish a home base where they will spend the rest of their lives, since no return date is possible. When reaching Mars, settlers will have to create a biosphere. You may ask, what is a biosphere? A biosphere works as an environment where humans can live. This follows the same basic function that all life uses. Plants create oxygen through their waste, which animals use, and then they create nitrogen, which plants use. As soon as the biosphere is filled with water, the water begins to saturate with waste. This waste comes from animals in the biosphere and from plants. Any plant part that dies begins to decay and release the matter they were composed of into the water. This water is potential food for the plants, but there is far more of it than the plants can consume immediately. So it must first settle on the bottom, then decompose into the substrate before the roots can access it. The result of this is that the waste is consumed by algae, which will quickly bloom and take over. So the first thing that is needed to make a biosphere work is to control the algae. In the biosphere, this is done with 2 methods: controlling the available waste that serves as food for the algae and controlling the algae directly. The next thing needed for a working biosphere is to control the water. This is done by cleaning the water so that animals can survive. Plants serve this function because they create oxygen, which is food for animals. The animals consume the oxygen, and then their waste product is nitrogen, which the plants consume. By this process, the plants act as a filter for the water, cleaning it so the animals can survive. Once the biosphere has clean water, plants will thrive, creating oxygen for humans. Settlers will begin the process of creating an even bigger biosphere once the plants have established life. After the expansion of the biosphere, more settlers will be able to move to Mars and create a life for themselves. So you may ask yourself, what will the biosphere do with all the trash they accumulate after it is set up? For this, they will have to follow the gasification process. This process includes taking the trash that is created by humans and turning it into an alternative energy source by shredding it into bioflakes and following a process of boiling it, which in turn creates gas and electricity. Once the biosphere is completed, humans on Mars will have created an environment that can sustain life.